Hello, welcome back to Wet Rocket Wetomotive. Didn't have enough water for the longest time, now got too much of it. Swings and roundabouts, eh? I've got no choice, I can't roll around under any vehicles in here today because I'd be drenched. So we're gonna go and take a look at Albert, the ambassador. We're gonna rip the wings off, start getting brave and find out just how rotten that thing is. Join us. Okie dokie, here we go. Just got to try not to get any tetanus while I take this cover off. Carefuling, carefuling. Ah! That's a good start. I haven't even got the cover off, I've already injured myself. Hello boss, how are we? I'm gonna say it, I'm pretty sure it's the wings that are rotten. First things first, get some of these spot welds drilled out. So, the front has already disconnected itself mostly. That's a winner. The rear, yep. So it's only the top. I'm gonna have to carefully remove this plastic panel. What for not destroying it, because you just know there are none of those left. Ooh, a biscuit. Stay there, cover. God damn you. Do not. Why is it only ever windy when I need to work outside? Sorry about that, fella. I want to just gauge how easily these are going to come away. Get Daryl real. I mean, worst case scenario, this is just going to make the cover fit a bit easier. Here we go. Huh, that piece is rotted away. Great. Even easier. You want to take your time with this. Don't harden the spot welds or you're going to be in for a whole world of hurt. We're already storming through. Now, I know everybody's going to go mental at me for the through and throughs here. There's two reasons that I'm doing through and throughs. The first one being, there's no inner wing left under here. We need to break these out, come in and enlarge the holes slightly. I've got a bigger drill bit, but it's a mixed materials bit and they're not great at driving through stuff. They're good for wallering out holes that you've already put in it. Now, I have one concern here and we need to address it because you see how much that's deflecting? I'm pretty sure the only thing holding this stuff on here is the wings. That would also explain why the front end's got so much flex to it because there's no core support. So behind the lights, all the stuff that would have held everything together is more or less gone. We might need to rejig. So if I wriggle the headlight, you can see, look, the base structure it's broken. And I think that happened when they pulled it out of the hedge. These are the towing eyes, both sides, and they were attached to the bumper, and the bumper was on it in the listing, so I think they've gone to pull it, they've ripped it off, and yeah, look, that aggressive snatching has broken it away, which explains why all this is so loose. The smart move here might be to just remove this panel completely, because when you think about it, we're going to need this panel out of the way anyway to make the structural repairs. It explains why the grill's drooped. Poor guy. We may have to source one of these. I'm hoping not, but it's not the best. If we don't source a panel, that's fine. What we can do instead is get a template. I may be calling on other ambassador owners for this to be able to recreate this, but to be honest with you, the amount of rot that's in this piece here, it is just a radiator support. Before we do anything with regards to removing this panel, I need to measure, because if we fit this back on the car on the squonk, our bonnet's not going to shut, the front end's not going to line up. It does help to have some thinking water around with a big project like this. It's nice, you go for a little stand, just look out across the water, watch the capris swimming free. There's an 8 series on the bank, having a drink. Gives you a sense of serenity that allows you to deal with worrying things like that. So we need 3 to 5 measurements. We want where the fenders join the panel, wings join the panel, to the bulkhead firewall, and the center line for the bonnet catch, hood latch, to the bulkhead firewall. 3 at minimum. That will tell us where the panel was originally. I know the car's bent, but what we need to do is put things back together. It's not bent, it's sagged where the corrosion's gotten in at the front end. So we need to make sure everything goes back where it came from, is essentially what I'm trying to say. Because then when the time comes, if we do need to shore up the front end and raise it slightly, we know everything's going back up square where it was originally. So that's the plan. What we're going to do is we're going to use the bonnet as a whiteboard, gold board, You know what I'm trying to say. Calm down. Rad support. Offside front to bulkhead. Ooh, that's a bad one. That wasn't very nice, Albert. Maybe calm down a little. We do have a good piece of metal we can use as a reference point there. We want to go, 90 centimeters. Yeah, 90. Be a good way to know how bent the car is as well, in fairness. There's that same piece. It is a bit, oh, it's gone. Okay, it's cool. We can go to the original point where it was anchored. Oh, do you know what? Let's bang on 92. Not 92 T-O-O, not 92 as in 92 centimeters. Lovely. That's good. Well, it was straight when it was built. We've got a nice handy little divot here. So we're gonna go straight through the bonnet catch to the divot. There we are, see? 85. How much was it? Thank you. Now we know where this panel goes in relation to the bulkhead, which actually looks really, really good. Gonna regret that. Gonna regret saying that, but still. Is the radiator held on with anything else? Oh, the radiator sits on a separate panel. Oh my God. The chassis legs to under the radiator are solid. There's no giving them at all. It's this panel that makes everything look really frilly. That guy did not look very pleased to see me. Mind your own business. Right, so I think in the interest of not breaking loads of parts, take the grill off carefully now. I mean, everything that held the grill on is long gone now. It's okay. I'm not taking it off to sell it to someone, I promise. Thank you. Oh wow, twin fans. I think that horn might have had its day. It's blowing a hootie now, great. That's exactly what I need when I'm around powdery rust and plant matter. This rail is bloody solid. Okay, so it looks like there used to be a flat panel in here, and that was painted body colour. Interesting. That's why it's so loose, look. So where it used to, I see, there you go, look, see, you just start piecing it together. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. So there would have been a panel here, and this support would have gone through that panel, and that would have shored up all of this. Oh, it really hurts me to see them like this. Any car, it's just sad. There's no need for it to have been left like this. Right, those are our bumper mounts, so we still got them. Headlights, how are you fitted? I won't rip them off like somebody's clearly snapped your indicators off. We'll remove them. Okay, it's held in with quite a lot of nuts and bolts actually. And there's our VIN, lovely. We're gonna need that. The only reason that this is all loose is because it's completely rotten. Also, did you know that wood comes from trees? Now you do. They're really rusty, those nuts, one of which was an earth for the headlights. Another thing I need to show you. Should everything get a bit tasty and we need to lift the front end up to get everything straightened so that we can weld everything together, the Princess and the Ambassador both came with these lifting eyes, hoisting points for the body, and it's got some in the back as well. I'm not really sure why they're there, but I'll tell you something for nothing. I'm glad they are because we're probably going to need them. Turn and unplug. There we go. I feel much better looking at this and seeing that the actual chassis seems okay. All right, let's get these nuts off. Vets. This is always a transitional point for me with a project like this, because when you take the headlights out, I don't know, it just feels like the car's not a car anymore for a bit. 8mm seems to be snug enough to snap this off, which is great. Kyle, that extension bar is 4 times longer than it needs to be, man. What is the matter with you? Good lad. Oh. I hope you don't need a headlight adjust. I think those days are over, mate. You're just gonna have to try your best. Oh, okay. First fastener removed from the Ambassador. Clickbait. Come on. Oh yeah, we got a brake. So we're gonna be figuring out how to repair headlight fixing studs. I knew that was gonna happen. How do I get you out of there? That guy, I don't think is coming off. I think we might have to break that one off, as much as I don't want to. That might be a tomorrow problem. We've lost a millimetre of fastener at least. Yeah, 7's not even doing it. All right, that one's gonna have to go. Pretty sure the area around it's so rotten I should be able to just... Oh, I really don't want to do this to you, buddy, but I've got no choice. Rust is useful sometimes. Still got original stickers and everything. What do you do? That's an earth connection. Disconnect that from the... Please don't throw your cover away, I need it. Jesus Christ, anybody sees you in the week, I'm getting kicked straight off site. Let's not do this. And a BL bullet. Are you gonna come undone? Ah, wounder. That's all right, I'm gonna redo that with a half decent connector anyway. These BL bullet connectors are abysmal. There we go. Oh, look. Lovely little Austin Rover logo there, look. That didn't feel good to do, but the rust actually helped us on that occasion. Headlight cups, not terrible. They won't both have rotted in exactly the same way, so we can gauge that. There's a headlight relay just there. God, that's asking for corrosion. These aren't too bad for rust. They're normally pretty... No? All right, fair enough. I didn't think you'd buy that. It was worth a try. Here is our front lip that would sit under the headlights usually. We're definitely going to need to get some measurements from people here. This panel, I'm not surprised it rotted away. These bits that have rotted out, I'm glad they have, because it's going to make taking it apart easier, and then we'll be able to see to repair what's there. Right, I'm going to get the other headlight off. To get to some of the trickier spot welds, let's just get the bonnet off. Hood. I'm amazed at how easily they came undone. This gas strut, on the other hand, probably not going to be quite so cooperative. That's a big old Philippe Philop. Just in case you ever wonder what these ridiculously large Phillips are for, it's stuff like this. Okay. Is he him? He's him. Let's go, pal. That's loud. That was loud. Two that time. I'm only undoing a screw. I'm going to need a tea after this. I don't even drink tea. I'm going to try my best for you guys today to get a decent video, but that wind is really picking up. It's making it really hard to work on this thing, because every time there's a gust of wind, I'll just get an eye full of rust. Put it in the workshop. I can't put it in the workshop at the moment. I've got loads of other stuff in there. Multiple vehicles. I've got a flood. I've got all sorts. The gas strut works. Right, in that case, let's get you down there. Part of me really wished I had a spare set of hands for this job. It wasn't intentional what's about to happen. But yeah, long story cut short, it was just a case of undoing the 4 bolts once I got the gas strut disconnected. Albert, I think he was just deciding to just try my patience a little bit and make himself a little bit of a nuisance. That's all right. I don't blame him. I'm sure he's got a lot of pent-up anger, so I'll let this slide. Literally. Oh. Whoopsie daisy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. So, Project Albert. What's the plan for Project Albert? There's the panel situation for the radiator support. We're just going to write anything we need to remember. We're going to write down on Albert's bonnet. I might even keep it, who knows. What I might do is paint over it, and then all this stuff is there under the paint. So this huge panel along here is really good. That's just crusty. It's not rotted through or anything silly like that. Someone probably got a bit overzealous filling their brake fluid. Maybe they filled the brake fluid to get around the fact that the fluid was low because the pads were worn out. Then someone put the pads back in, rewound the calipers, and it overtopped. That's normally what happens. That's normally what you see when someone's done something like that. But actually, look, it's not terrible. We've got a little bit of rot in there, but it's not falling to pieces. Don't look at that. That's our inner arch. So that's all stuff we'll be able to get to when the time comes to get our wing off. So we've got all our spot welds we need to get out. As you can see, they vanish under this very, I would presume, very delicate and extremely rare panel. So we need to now very carefully whistle the wiper arms out, get this guy out of the way. Let's try and get these wiper arms off without snapping them. 1/2 inch. Good old BL. They love a 1/2 inch fastener. I came straight undone. Okay, all right, this bit's gonna be emotional. We could not smash a windscreen, that'd be wicked cool. Okay, we're down a slam panel under here, 100%. I'm pretty sure that shouldn't deviate like that. I'm pretty sure that shouldn't be like that. I'm gonna go and get a flat head, hopefully. Good lad. Good lad, genuinely. Oh, those are the weird pin type wiper blades. Okay, they're going to be tricky to get hold of. That's gone forever. This car, I've already bonded with it. It really seems like it wants to be fixed. Jesus, wet, those hydrogas lines are huge. Oh, bless his heart. Right, on the roof, Kyle, with the other one. I'm genuinely impressed so far at how things are coming to pieces. And I don't mean the car's falling apart, I mean like the actual fasteners. It's sad that nobody gave this thing a chance. Don't, mate. You're like the only living thing that I'll hurt. Wasps, can't stand them. We're hanging up over there. Okay. That was a piece of wiper blade, I think. Gentle, ever so gentle. Can't get these no more carefully. I think I found, do you remember that emotional scene from the last video? Kyle, put a clip up, please. Hello? Clip. I think I just found where that came from. I'll show you in 2 seconds. All right, we managed to get that out without destroying it, which is excellent. I'm just going to post this through his letterbox. I've got a theory. This is our windscreen scuttle panel, which has had a plastic cover over it. This rot around the windscreen, I'll tell you the straight truth, this I don't like. This is making me nervous. Only reason being is it's quite a complicated area. You get it wrong, the windscreen doesn't fit, so we need to make sure that is spot on. Anyway, look at the amount of rot and all this crap sitting down in this scuttle. And that looks suspiciously like what fell out when we shook the bottom of the wing. And I wouldn't mind betting it's all packed down into the bottom of the wing. I think that's where it went. The good news is there isn't much structure left up here to fight with vis-a-vis spot welds. I don't think we're far off of getting this wing off. I'm going to set 2 with the drill. I'm not going to make you watch all that. There's a lot of spot welds holding this thing together. This may be the only wing we get off today, but it's a start. Look at how much progress we've made already. The bonnet's off. We've had a really good squint around everything and it all looks fairly happy. So really, at this stage, assessing this side will be good enough. To be honest with you, this side is the worst side anyway. So if this side's okay, I'm pretty confident if I don't panic on this side, I'll probably be okay on the other side. Time lapse. With the bonnet removed, we were actually starting to make some serious progress and I was starting to get the lay of the land. Although I will say, the spot weld situation was just getting more and more ridiculous as time went on. All right, this interior is horrific. Bit of a weird one. So where the wing fender comes down to the A-pillar is bolted, but they spot welded it everywhere else. So we need to take the door off to get to those bolts. In order to take the door off, we need to take the door card off. So time to figure out how to take an Austin Ambassador door card off then. I do have a Haynes manual, but I'll be honest with you, I prefer to feel my way through these things. It tends to help me remember later on. This wind's getting ridiculous. I don't want to have to shut it down, I'm enjoying myself. I had a lot of fun today. Well, that was easy. Yeah, thank you for joining me. If you're new to the channel and this is the first video you've seen, obviously I'd encourage you to go back and watch the video where we first met this fella. If you wouldn't mind liking and commenting, maybe even a little cheeky subscribe, that'd be awesome. Channel's growing at a rate I never expected it to, and it's lovely to meet you all. That's a very British Leyland thing. You can never get to this screw properly. I had a P38 Range Rover that was like this. I will put the fasteners somewhere before I hoover the car out, obviously, or they're gone forever. Door handles. Handles for doors. Let's see about this door pocket then. The mould is bad. This door pocket is held on with more screws than the entire door card on my Scirocco. But they're badly built apparently. Didn't put any effort in, lazy, so on and so forth. All right. Pandora, there's a lot of filler in there. Oh no! Just pop his rubbish in there. Swalek, your total energy provider. Oh man, I remember these pens, they were brilliant. And as you can see, that was how they scaled up one of these, because that's just a normal door card. If you look at it, you imagine this leather is only like this, because this has been screwed to it for all those years. They just had a door card like that, and they would literally just screw one of these door bins to the normal door card. So L, HL. Come on, you fucker. There we go. Right, put that in there. Put that in the back of the car. Still got the bloody membrane on the door. We'll save on the membrane. Oh my God, the rat pest smell. All right, as you can see, we've got 3 there, 3 there. That's the door off. The internal door structures look excellent. What are the chances that we used 1/2 inch on this too? Looks like it. Need an extension bar though. Back in a sec. Okay, little tip if you're removing a door on your own. Do the bottom hinge first, because it will hold itself up on the top hinge. Oh, 17682. I'm not sure of production date or part number. Interesting. Anybody who knows British Leyland, let me know. The wax oil's held up. Don't laugh. You can still feel the wax oil all over the areas that haven't rotted away. 5 more to go. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the door off camera. There's nothing happening. It's just like you're staring at the back of my head watching me undo 6 nuts. You know what I mean? I'll be back. All right. It's starting to feel a bit like go time. Gimme. Cheers, fella. The upper part of the door had shims. Now, I heard something fall. You guys might need to advise as to where that went. Yeah, there's a shim, look. So that's how they aligned the doors. That's great because it means we've got a little bit of wiggle room. If things go awry and things aren't quite there, we can make some adjustments. That's great. Okay, let's take that out because I don't want to knock that off and lose it. Yeah, so quite bizarrely, there are bolts holding this wing in. Now, I know from Alvin, bless him, that these pieces are they go brittle and people break them taking them off. So I'm just going to make, yeah, we're all right. The rivet's already rotted away. So I think what would have originally been the design, yeah, you can see, so that it would have come up the A-pillar. It's actually tied into this structure behind, which is in good nick, and then they would have migged round it. That's a nice weld actually. Holy moly. That is a stick welding. It's got spatter and everything. All right, we're gonna have to try and recreate that. That is a bridge we will cross when we get to it. Let's fold those back there, because that's a hip wrecker, that is. Cool. Jesus Christ. I left the headlights down there. I thought it was a cat. Made me jump. Hi there.
Hi there.
How you doing?
I'm good. You've got a lot of work there.
I certainly have, yeah. This is a bit of a passion project of mine.
What kind of car is it?
It's an Austin Ambassador.
God, I've never...
They only made them for 2 years. I don't know, do you remember the Princess? Have a lovely day. And that's what I love about classic cars. There we go. We can hammer this back in a bit. We need the wing off. Can't do anything until this wing's gone. Okay, I want to get in there before anybody else does. It looks like I've been really rough with this. This will all hammer and dolly straight. You have to get a screwdriver in between the spot welds to pop these spot welds. Normally I'm much more accurate, much more careful and all the rest of it. The trouble is with these cars, as you can see from how higgledy-piggledy the holes are, there was just a dude with a smoke on, just with the spot weld machine. There's no way of knowing how many, there's no way of knowing where. You have to just go digging for them. There isn't a lot of the inner wing structure. So the way this mounts, this piece is that shape, the inner wing is there, and they spot weld them together for rigidity. The trouble is, there's not much of that underneath structure left. So we're better off just getting shot of it, because we're probably gonna have to cut out and replace most of it anyway. Just in case anybody thinks I'm being needlessly rough with removing the spot welds, all right? If this was someone's car, I'd be doing a lot more careful of a job. As you can see, we're more or less ready to rock at this point. Let's have a little conversation about British Leyland workers and their sense of humour, shall we? I have it on very good authority from several people I've spoken to who used to work at the plants, particularly Cowley, because obviously I'm from Oxfordshire. And that's where these were built. They had a subsidised bar back in the day. They used to like to have a couple of beers at lunch and they'd get a bit silly. I presume that that's what's happened with whoever was in charge of the spot welder that built Albert. There is no need for so many spot welds. I've had to more or less, I haven't mangled the panel. The panel's very soft anyway, but my God, what an inconvenience. How many spot welds is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 43 spot welds on the parts that hadn't rotted away to nothing. I genuinely think if this panel was good and we were taking it off, it would have taken me a full day to find and drill out all the spot welds. There's a couple of panels I had to just take the initiative and we had to just snip them. Again, can all be repaired. Or I only did it around flat bits of metal, but basically they had come away from the structure of the car and were connected to the wing. There's no drilling out the spot welds on that piece because it was so delicate. So what we've done, cut it off, we'll grind it off in the shop where we're not irritating everybody, and then we can come back in. Obviously we're going to have to reconstruct that structural part anyway. The inner wing, well, we're about to find out because I haven't looked yet. I wanted you guys to be here for that, but that was the closest we've come to having a row so far, wasn't it? I believe I've gotten it all. I think I've got it all this time. Don't break that trim, please, Kyle. Ouch! Someone snapped this aerial off, so let's just get rid of it. Okay, so far so good. Oh, there we go. One Austin Ambassador wing. Very pleasantly surprised at that. Let's take a look. Well done, Albert. Well done. It's held on for a long old time. So we've lost this. That's not great. It's not brilliant. I think a great deal of that is down to moss growth. Moss is terrible for cars, by the way. If you've got moss growing in door sills and stuff, get it gone because it holds water against everything. Look at our hinge supports. Absolutely bloody solid. Let me get something for whacking. That's solid. Wow. Our A-pillar is nowhere close to as bad as I thought it was going to be. So we need there's mitigation there for wiring. Just looks like nobody bothered using any grommets. That probably didn't help. These are the captives for our wing. That's the factory black. The body would have been presumably dipped. I know they have a body in white process at Cowley now. I don't know if they used to back in the day. You're looking at that going, that's really, really bad. And yeah, it's not brilliant. Obviously, I'd much prefer it to not be like that. But this is going to be an awkward panel. Hopefully the passenger side of the car is going to reveal what that's supposed to look like, but it looks as though it comes up and along like so. So we've got a curved piece that needs to go in there. This is obviously supposed to be covered. Drainage wise, we need to make a shelf here with mitigation for water there. I think that might be what's caused all the rust. I've got a feeling leaves and stuff have built up in here and sat and rotted this out. This piece here, there you go, we can peel that away. Well, that was seam sealed on. That wind is driving me nuts. There we go. So the lay of the land is a relatively uncomplicated shape here. I mean, that's it. That's what we call in the business. We call that a bent piece of metal. It's flat, angled, flat. We've got enough intact material here to take an absolute template as well. And it looks like that just carries on up to here. We will carefully remove this piece and make a new piece using that as the template. I'm really pleasantly surprised. This fiddly little return in here to there, obviously we'll get rid of all the rot. Flat piece to there, it turns around into our A-pillar. And at that point, it just comes along an angle, flat against this. That will be our A-pillar. Now, the scary bit is where it attaches to the vehicle. Yes, it's mostly gone. I knew that. But once we've reinstated a sill here, let's check out the original. A lot of a scary project like this is just the archaeology of it. So the A-pillar was welded to the sill return. We can make this work. This is the worst side. This is the side that was embedded in the hedge in all the photos. How else are we doing for rot? Well, this is all very flimsy, but that's because it's not anchored to here. We need to get this rubber out. We're just going to, obviously we're going to be knocking a lot of rot out of it first. What I'm trying to say to you is it's not like there's going to be no car left when we're finished. This all looks good. It's starting to go, but it can be wire wheeled, treated. Interesting little kink in the panel there. I wonder if that's, yeah, that is satisfactory. Interesting. Okay, so this will clean up with the wire wheel. That will clean up and be patched. There's a bit of a radius on that we can figure out. That's a piece of flat plate. That's chassis, and that's not brilliant, but we could have seen that without taking the wing off. This just uses a much heavier gauge metal. This can be made, guys. It's not going to be easy. It sure is going to be fun. I'm in. I haven't seen anything so far that scared me. The bit that's freaked me out the most, to be honest with you, is this windscreen frame. And really, there just needs to be a part of the project where I'm going to be a bit scared. But again, what we do is we come back until we stop finding rust, and we cut. We get the windscreen out, obviously, and we cut, and we remove, we replace the piece inside, then we replace the piece outside. We're obviously going to get pretty good at shrinking and stretching metal if we want to do that bit, because there's going to be that profile, then it's going to curve in that profile, then it's going to lay flat in that profile, and then it will be welded to the inner piece. And that is what's going to give our windscreen rubber a channel to run along. That's all insulation in there. I thought it was rot. Jesus, even this under here is solid. Let me go dig in. That's solid. You can't see because the exposure's all, look at that. It's completely solid. I can't, I'm speechless. What a relief. It's all just sheet metal. Actually, pretty happy and content that we might even be able to put this back on its wheels without it bending. Not sure what the sagging's about. I wonder if it's just where the inner wings have come away from the bulkhead, so it's the actual inner wing structure that's sagged rather than the chassis. We will find out more. What I can tell you is after today, I'm really not looking forward to taking the passenger wing off. That was a ball ache. I am over the moon with that, genuinely. I was expecting to take that wing off and the front end collapse, frankly. I was worried that the wing was the only thing holding it together. Actually, it's not too bad. Yes, okay, the A-pillar is gone, but it's such an easy piece to make. Oh, that's a piece of piss. You just, well, here we go. If you were to look down at the A-pillar from above, if you were to take that piece off the car and look down it, it comes out, along, angles forward, like so. Everything in here is good. It's solid, really good. No panic, oh my God, the windscreen's gonna cave in, nothing. It's in there is really solid. So we just need to make this piece. Long bit, granted. We're gonna have to figure out around the hinge, that process in the factory. How would they have done that? Answers in the comments, any ambassador owners out there. If you could send me an email with some photos of your A-pillars and how the door hinges go through, that would be amazing. The email address is sciroccorestoration@gmail.com. It'd be amazing to hear from you as far as photos of that. And it'd be handy to have your contact details in case I could trouble you to just pinch a few measurements. Albert's twisted a little bit over the years, and it would be quite nice to put everything back where it went. So I've drawn a weird hieroglyph. What now? Well, that doesn't come off because this is a Sharpie, Kyle. Why didn't you've got 4 dry wipe pens over there. When I'm expecting, this flood is starting to get right on my tits, just to give you a heads up. For ideas, we use the dry wipe. For permanent measurements and things, we use the Sharpie. I'm a fart smeller, what can I say? We need to get the passenger wing off, which means the near side door off. What parts do we need? We need a timing belt, Walter pump. We need to repair the headlight bolts, repair the wings, repair A-pillars, sills. I'm gonna call it there for today. That's a pretty good plan of what we're gonna do next time. I'll get looking for parts. We'll hang that up there. First day done on Albert. I've got to say, I had a blast. Felt really, really good to make a start on that project. I hate things languishing. I don't, it's like, you're gonna eat that. Do you know what I mean? Car was generally quite nice to work on, actually. Everything seemed to be well put together. Some bits were too well put together. Whoever did those spot welds at the factory, future me is not thanking past you for that. So wherever you are, I just hope you have a little bit of an inconvenience to balance things out again. I hope the fuse goes in your telly. You have to change the fuse, but you ain't got one. You know what I mean? Don't wish you any ill. I just wish you a little bit of hassle. I hope you guys enjoyed this first foray into Albert. I'll be honest with you, next week is probably not going to be an ambassador video because I've got a video on this and a video on Pandora in the pipeline. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you feel inclined to, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. The channel's growing and it's a really nice feeling because you guys are basically just watching this idiot goof around in a workshop. So it means the world to me that anybody would sign up to watch that a second time, and an awful lot of you have. So yeah, it's really nice. Thank you. I do have memberships and super thanks as well. Don't feel obligated. They're there if you want to. What else is there? Ah, yes. If you'd like to watch some more videos, that's there somewhere. There's a playlist here which has got every Skyrocket Automotive video in order from the first video on Carla. Over here is a thing where you can subscribe if you'd like. And yeah, I didn't make as big of a mistake as I thought I did. Still a mistake, but I think there's life in that old dog yet. We all deserve a second chance even if we do look a bit run down, eh? Thanks for watching. I'll see you again.